Hello. Good morning, everyone. Our Form 6 student. I have to say you're a Form 6 student this year, and because it's now for the year 2020 and 2021 already. So welcome all of you. So this is our first live tutorial again. And thank you very much for coming in so early in the morning, and we will begin our lesson for the year. Right, so hi, how are you all? Do you hear me this time? I have my microphone with me today, so I hope you can listen to me, you can hear me much more clearly today. All right, so Form 6, and so you see, we have a very beautiful picture here, and this picture, look at this is a nice world for us, right? So this is a very nice environment for us. And do you remember that we had this topic while we were in Form 5? While we were in Form 5. But well, we're still having this in Form 6 because we haven't finished all the tasks. Because we stopped learning for a while, for some time, because of the COVID-19 pandemics again. So for this year to come, we will start something that we haven't finished before, that is about environmental issues or environmental problems. So one world, one environment. Form 6 for this year. We will start a writing task today. We will start a writing task today. So some pieces of writing, and please get ready for that. And if you can, please get yourself some pieces of paper, a pen, pencil, or color pen, anything that can help you to learn, right? So for session one, what I'll do with you, first of all, we should look at the topics. We should read the question, and I'll tell you something about the genre. That is, what type of writing is it? What do we mean by genre? Is something that is to do with the format or the feature of a writing. That is, whether we are writing a letter, whether we are writing some sort of proposal, or email, or speech, that kind of thing. So, all right. So I will talk about this in my session 1. And so, first of all, let us read and understand the questions. It is very, very important we understand the question. So here you are. Now, so we read the question once together. Now, very, very carefully, just the first time. Or maybe I will read together with you first, right? So the first time we read the question together. So your NET has sent your class an email about the One World, One Environment writing competition. There or below is the One World, One Environment writing competition flyer. I hope you're ready to work on your entries. One World, One Environment writing competition. And the topic is, should people be encouraged to cycle instead of driving or taking public transport in Hong Kong? Write an essay in which you present arguments both for and against this issue. Number of words 400. Good luck with your entries, Ms. Fisher. All right, so this is the first time that we read the question. Now, maybe some of you have some idea already, but some of you may not know what is actually going on here. I will help you with some of the words that you may not know, or the words that are quite new to you first. All right, so let's begin. One world, one environment. The whole thing is about, this is our world, right? Our world, we have only one world, right? And we have only one environment. So this is important we protect our environment. So what is environment? No, this is a very good environment, and that one is really, really bad. Do you think so? So good environment, bad environment. So we have to protect our environment. And this is a very important issue in the world nowadays. And you will see the word flyer in the question and flyer. This is a flyer for you. Or leaflet, you may say, like some sort of a piece of paper to tell you some information. And writing competition, all right, I'll just remind you if you don't know exactly what it is. This is writing competition is a sort of slogan for a sort of promotion for a writing competition. So writing competition, you have to write something, and of course you want to win and get some prizes after that. So this is writing competition, and so the whole the question is about a writing competition that you're going to join, and you also will see the word entries here. What is entry? Means so you see, hey, good luck for your entries means good luck for joining the competition. So I hope you can win the competition. So entries, so your entries, your work that go into the competition is the entry. So, and also you will see a very, very important thing, that is cycling. So in the question, actually, we're talking about whether you will cycle or do something else. So cycling, what is cycling? You use the bicycle, or you ride the bicycle and then go to work, go to school. So riding the bicycle, cycling. So we want to go cycling instead of driving. So no driving, no using public transport. So in Hong Kong, you see there are many public transport, many cars on the road. Look at these, all these cars here have made the world very, very dirty, and there's a lot of pollution going on, and it destroyed our environment. It is very bad to our environment. So why not go cycling and stop driving, no using transport, public transport. So public transport, once again, for example, taxi, minibus, bus, all these are public transport. MTR, public transport. Right. So all these. So the question is, we use this and stop this. So if it is good or not good. Right. So here I want to ask you some questions, and you also should ask yourself some questions before you begin writing. So I will ask you some questions and see if you really understand the question. First of all, I will give you 1 or 2 minutes to read the question by yourself first. Now read the question, right? Read the question by yourself, and I will ask you questions about the question, right? So let's read it. All right, so everyone, I'm here again. So I'll ask you some question about this topic and see if you understand and know what to do. Right. First of all, who asked you to join the competition? Who asked you to join the competition? Who asked you? What is that? Who asked you to join the competition? I hope you find out. Find fresh color. So, who asked you? The NET, the NET. Who is our NET? In our school, Mr. Austin. So, Mr. Austin is the NET teacher, the NET teacher, right? Native English teacher. So, your NET has asked you to has sent you an email. So, of course, in this situation, this is not Mr. Austin. But in our school, it's Mr. Austin. But in this situation, who is the next teacher? So who is the next teacher? Can you tell me? Yes, Miss Fisher. Miss Fisher. So she is the next, right, in the school. And also, right? So the next teacher, Miss Fisher, sent you an email about a writing competition, right? And what is the topic of the competition? Can you show me can you find me one line? Which one is about the topics actually? Find out? All right, we will go to look at that. Very important one. Should people be encouraged to cycle instead of driving or taking public transport in Hong Kong? So very important thing is, we go cycling instead of means to replace, another word for that is to replace, or we say we don't use this, but we use this. So what is the this here? Driving or taking public transport. Well, we don't go by public transport, but instead we go cycling. So this is it, right, the question. So should we do that? Are you all right with the question? And one more very important question. Do you say yes or say no to this? Should people be encouraged to cycle instead of driving or taking public transport? Do you say yes or say no when you see this question? Can you answer me this question? Do you say yes, 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 we should. Just go cycling and don't use public transport, or no, 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 I don't think so. Do you think? What should you do? Now your answer should be, you should say both yes and no when you write this question. Look at this, both for and against this issue. So that is one thing that is very important. You give some point about yes and give some point about no. This is the question. The main point of the question. And all right, my last question for you is, how many words are you going to write? How many words? Tell me. 4,000. That's 4,000. Now pay attention to this 4,000 words. Oh, no, no, no. Sorry. 400. So 400. Just 1, 2, 3. All right. 1,000 is one more zero. It's 400. All right. So are you okay with that? So if you're okay, we will go to. Now, one thing that I need to remind you is a very important thing that I have talked about. Be very careful. So you don't only say for or only say against, because many students have fallen into the trap of writing only one part. They have done very well in the examination, but what they haven't done is to answer the question. The question asks you to write both for and against, and they have just go this way or that way. That is wrong. And please do this. This is very important. So you write something to support that we should go cycling, and you write something to say no to go cycling. So what kind of essay is it? Very quickly. So go back to the topic again, right? Should people be encouraged to cycle instead of driving? Or an essay which you present arguments. So we say you present your points, your discussion, your opinion. You say if you agree or disagree. So this is an argumentative essay that we are going to write. Argumentative essay. Discuss. Give opinions, but you say agree or disagree. And one more thing about the topic is what we have talked about. There are two sides. You present an argument both. Both means the two things are all together here. What are the two things? For and against. So both for and against the issue. So you say for, something for and something against. So it has got two sides, and you have to write about the two sides. So two-sided argumentative essay is what we have here for the day. And so usually, what do we do with a two-sided argumentative essay? I guess what's on your mind should be, so you write your introduction, and then one part will be for, another part will be against. And for, you can go to the first point. For example, you can say, oh, cycling is healthy, so cycling is healthy, so that's why we should go cycling. And all right, on the second point, of course you can have your third point also. And there is something about against. So first point, second point, for example, oh, why? Oh, cycling on the road is very dangerous, so not very good. So this is another point. So you can have something, right, on your mind here. And so, briefly, very briefly, the whole essay will be like this, argumentative essay. So you have the introduction, you say directly what you're going to discuss. Just go to the point. Today I'm going to discuss about if we should go cycling instead of using public transport and driving. And say you're going to present the points on both sides, and I'm going to talk about both the good points and the bad points about this. So what you need to do in the introduction, you say this, and then you can go to the body, the main body of your essay. You can go, first of all, you can say the for, yes. The yes part, that is the first supporting point, and the second supporting points, and then you may go to the against, the first supporting point, second supporting point. So this is just an example. Of course, you can have more points if you can. And then you go to the conclusion, you tell briefly what the above points are. So this is the conclusion. So this is roughly what an argumentative essay will be. The paragraphs, the construction. So I will let Mr. Wong, I will let Mr. Wong to come to handle the second part for you. So he will tell you more about how to write in the content of the essay. So I will see you next week again. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So hi, good morning. I'm going to talk about like the content and brainstorming. So basically, I'll cover about how you're supposed to write in this essay. So, all right. So about like the content, and then like just a quickly reminder. So like for introduction, we kind of like write about the prompt, and then tell our readers like, okay, if possible, I would like you to use like half a sentence to tell me why this topic is important. Not just saying that like, okay, should the government promote cycling to instead of riding on a public transport or driving a car? Tell me like something. Why is this topic important? Just half a sentence. Like if you can't do it, it's fine. So like. Okay. And then like for the body paragraph, and then like we already explained that like it's like a for and against the issue. And then like the thing is like I need 2 examples, like a minimum of 2 examples from you. And then like it would be cooler and then like more clearer if you can separate your point and then your evidence like and in every individual paragraph. Say that like if you have like 2 points, you're like 1 introduction, and then like you have 2 points, and then like I wish you can like separate into like 2 different paragraphs, and say that like if you have 2 like example like against the issue, that's 2 more, and then like come with the lastly conclusion that would like roughly give you about like 6 like a paragraph. That will be a more like it will give your reader a crystal clear idea how your essay is structured. So okay, so these two, you basically just like bring out your example and evidence and make sure that like your topic sentence is written at the very first sentence of your paragraph and give your reader a clear insight about what are you talking about. And lastly, the conclusion. And here's the thing. After careful consideration, and which side are you on? Are you supporting like the issue or are you opposing the issue? I need to hear that from you. So not just like bring that two example, and then like you also need to give your reader a considering okay. So after like I hear about like long ideas about cycling is good. We should like and then like what? And you don't give your readers like a conclusion. That is not acceptable. That's why we need a conclusion and tell me which side are you on. All right. So okay. So introduction, and then like you tell your reader why should this be concerned, and then like it can be anything. As I mentioned, just half a sentence, tell me that there should be like environmental concern or like some health concern or some traffic concern into this topic. Just tell us why is it important. All right. So and then I'll let you like to think about this one because like once you have the clear mind about how the next part, like how you're gonna structure it, your body paragraph, then you know like why is this topic to be concerned, and then like you quickly figure this one out. So all right. So before we like brainstorm some ideas, I want you to show you bike city like in the United States of America. This is like Portland, Oregon. Has anyone been to like Portland before? You probably know Portland like by the trailblazer of the NBA team, but like. Actually, like this city, it's like next to the Columbia River. I actually worked there like 10 summers ago. So yeah, okay, I'll show you like a video clip about like Portland. It's only like a minute and 30 seconds long, and then I will ask you a question. So please pay attention.
Yo，咩話廚房食咗先講啊！今日教大家整一個比利時皇室御用水蒸蒸水網問甜絲鮮甜入心豬骨。
It is a brisk weekday morning in Portland, Oregon, and the daily commute gets underway. The city's streets and bridges are crowded with cars, buses, streetcars, and light rail trains, and another popular vehicle.
It's quicker and cheaper than taking the bus.
Portland has long been known as one of the nation's leading cycling cities.
Portland's known for being very green and progressive.
Here, bikes provide more than recreation and sport. They are a significant means of transportation. A census report released this year found that a higher percentage of people in Portland commute by bike than in any other American city. Now the city is capitalizing on its reputation. It is building a cycling economy.
We have some of the best custom-made bike frame manufacturers in the United States. We have a whole industry that has sort of grown up around the bike usage that really was sort of the start of the bike culture.
Portland is a bike town. It's known as a bike town around the world, and one of the best places to be if you're a cyclist.
That was Tony Pereira. His one-man bike-making business is part of the city's growing cycling industry. It includes bike makers, clothing manufacturers, even consultants who advise other cities on how to become more bike-friendly.
I've always loved bikes, and I've been in it.
Okay, we just like finished like watching like first half of this video, and I'm gonna. Okay, so you probably have like one question. You saw the guy like wearing like a gray suit. Okay, you figure out the second person like it's just like a small business owner. Like the first one is like city commissioner. City commissioner is like it's just like a mayor. So basically it would be equivalent to like Carrie Lam in Hong Kong. So like a chief executive. Okay, anyway, so Okay, so this video lists 3 supporting reasons why the city of Portland shows her support to cycling in the city. And what are they? I give you a few minutes, like a few seconds. I give you like 10 seconds to think about this one. So 3 supporting reasons why Portland show her support like to cycling in the city. Why? Like 3. Alright, so, and then like, you probably figured the first one like easily. Like, you saw like the first person interviewee, like, oh, like, environmental friendly, like, because like it's green. And then like, you get the second part, help people stay fit. Basically like, it will help when you're cycling, you just like exercise more, and basically you be more fit. Okay, and lastly, maybe a slightly obscure, but right here, it's like it's about like supporting local business and build a bike economy in the community. You saw that like a city commissioner like came out and say that like, oh, we have like a strong, like a vibrant bike economy, and then like there was like a bright frame, like this business owner. That means that like this the city like supporting the bicycle and give the entire community a new economic means. So give like these like a prosper situation like for this like local business. So not just like okay, environmental friendly. This one is like very easy like to comprehend, and probably this one as well. And I also want you like to think like more about this one. So now like okay. So we got like these 3 ideas that like Portland go for. So I wanted now to think about this. Do these supporting reasons apply in Hong Kong? Mean that like, okay, so like cycling in Portland is like an environmentally friendly thing. So what about Hong Kong? Is it the same thing? Well, I think so. Like I think in any given places, environmentally friendly means the same thing. At least I hope. So, what about like the second one? Help people stay fit. Like, say that like if you ride bicycle in Portland, it will give you like get you more healthier. Does it apply the same thing in Hong Kong? Most likely, I think. What about the third one? Like support local business and build a bike economy in the community. Say that like when you have like a strong like cycling culture, and then do you like necessarily build a bike economy? Say that like, oh, there'll be like more bike shops, like repair shop, and on and on. Well, this is like for you to like consider, like okay. And now like we got like all these 3. Like the first 2 is like slightly more general, and this one like you can even like ponder a little bit more about it. Okay, so now like we got some ideas about like, yeah, you're like, why is like go bike? So what about like the next one? So like shall we like move to like the next part, like talk about why some like opposing ideas. Okay, the very same video also mentioned 3 major advantages that Portland offers her cyclists. What are they? Okay, I'm gonna show you the remainder, like the last 1 minute of the video, and then talk about like what does like Portland offer to her cyclists, and make this like bike culture like go like strong like in the city of roses. Okay.
為你，多謝你，能夠成為你媽咪係世上最好嘅禮物。
It just kept coming and coming and coming.
Much of this growth has been organic, so to speak, a cultural and economic extension of the city's character, its residents' inclination to conserve energy, protect the environment, and stay fit. And while many riders say they like the area's moderate climate and relatively gentle terrain, cycling stature in Portland can also be traced directly to support from the city.
Intentions are to be as a sustainable city as possible. The city of Portland in the last sort of 15 or 20 years has probably invested around $20 to $25 million to increase our bike infrastructure, everything from bike lanes to bike paths to better lighting to help bikers navigate through the city streets.
They've also spent money to help local businesses like Tony Pereira's learn how to better manage their operations and promote themselves.
The bicycle frame building is definitely a very small niche market. A lot of the frame builders get into this because they love bicycles, not because they love business.
Near one of the city's ubiquitous coffee shops, cyclists praise the efforts.
Okay, so we want to like a little bit more about the video, talk about like what does like Portland offer to her cyclists, like some of the major advantage. I just like go back like the question. So 3 major advantages, like I'll give you a few moments, like maybe like 5 seconds to think about it. Okay. Okay, so time's up. Okay, so now like we have like they mentioned about like moderate climate. Like climate is weather. Basically, moderate climate mean that like the weather, should I say just like spring? So like the weather is like always remain constant for in 4 seasons, and basically just there nothing. Like so, it's like you don't have to like wear like long sleeve in winter. You don't have to like short sleeve for like summer, or even like tank tops. Like nothing like that. Like that's mean like moderate climate. 平溫嘅天氣，溫暖嘅天氣。Okay, the second one, gentle terrain. You probably figure out the word like terrain. You never seen the word like gentle, like used as an adjective to describe terrain. Terrain is 地形. Gentle terrain means that like the city is mostly flat. So is Hong Kong like a flat? Does Hong Kong has a gentle terrain? No, like actually 75% of our land is mountain, so it's not like that. So like these like 2 key things that like make Portland a great city for cyclists. And the third one that's like mentioned by the city commissioner again, a good infrastructure structure in the city, such as like bike lane. Mentioned that like showed towards the end of the video clip. It's like, oh, you have like so many bike lanes. And even like something that like they had not mentioned in like this video. In the US, like most of the bus, they have a bike rack. So basically like you can put your bike on a bus. So and then like say that the bus that carry the new place and you can just ride the bike. And the same thing like go for the light wear as well. And this is not something that like Portland has. So now think about this. So you have so many cool ideas about like cycling in Portland. But what about Hong Kong? Is it like too good to be true in Hong Kong? So now think about this, like do Hong Kong cyclists have the same advantages as those in Portland? Well, moderate climate, like okay, so we are in like subtropical area, but like moderate climate, this is like debatable, like you can think about this one. You can make an argument for both, I think. Okay, so, and like second one, like gentle terrain, you probably would not like, you would not agree, no one would agree about like Hong Kong has a gentle terrain. And lastly, the third one, like good infrastructure, and this is also debatable. And you can make sure that like if, just saying, if you bring like these like ideas into your writing about like negative things about cycling in the city, I hope that like you not just like bring out these topic sentence in these ideas, you also give me the evidence. I only give you like some ideas about how to write your topic sentence. You also like have to bring out your evidence, say that like good infrastructure in the city, say that like okay, maybe like okay, Hong Kong does not have like bike lane and it does not like a designated they have no like designated path for like cyclists, something like that. But anyway, but like you need to bring your own like evidence to support your ideas. So I'll just show you a little bit more about how you bring your evidence. Okay, this is what cycling really like in Hong Kong. Like you don't see that like you're riding on a cycling path like on Hawthorne Bridge across like the Willamette River in Portland. No, not the same thing. So like you see that like the 2 cyclists are trying like hardly to navigate the path like between these like big buses. Okay, and then now just look at one more. Like you have to constantly like pay attention, like look back and the glance is like, okay, is the bus coming or something. And then if you can even spot it out right here, you see that like a sign right here is that like no pedestrian. and no bicycles. So now like these are some like facts about like cycling in Hong Kong, and then like I can even show you like some research I made. Like this just happened like in March. So like a Hong Kong cyclist died in a car crash on the peak, and you see the road here. This is like the pavement, and you can assume that this is the body. So is it like does it say like this accident say something about the road design in Hong Kong? Too narrow, too hilly, the peak, right? Like that's just like come about something about like the terrain. And I hope when you bring out your evidence, because this is like a really like social issue topic about Hong Kong, it's a real social issue, not something that like made up. I hope you can like bring out like some real examples about like in Hong Kong. And that's like you can utilize like Google and then try to like, okay, search like cyclist accident or like cyclist like advantage in Hong Kong, something like that. And then to help you to make your writing to be more like colorful. Okay, so and then like these are some ideas that like say like bike guide like it's not a good idea. So say that like maybe like from these evidence I say roads in Hong Kong not designed by bike, or like even like think about it like the air pollution in urban area in Hong Kong is like very poor. Maybe like even like cycling like does not make you does help you to stay fit, but like the other way around, maybe something even like damage your lungs, so something like that. Okay, and then like maybe like bikes like cause more road accidents. These are some ideas that you can research on. So like make sure you bring your own evidence and like make your topic sentence like according to it. So okay, after like finding all these negatives about cycling in Hong Kong, do you still think cycling in Hong Kong is a good idea? Should the government promote this issue? And this is like your city, your call. So what are your opinions? So it's like your turn to discuss. So to think about this one. And then like that's it for today for my part, and I'll turn it to Miss Chair and like cover about the grammar part.
Okay, hello, Form 6. We have mentioned about the content about your writing 9, okay, the argumentative essay. So I'm going to talk about the language item that you might use in your writing, okay? So to make your essay more colorful or more interesting, okay? So when you are persuade someone, always we will use modal verbs. So what is modal verbs? I'll give you 2 examples. Should, must, may, can, okay? All those verbs, we call it modal verbs to give advice or persuade some people. Okay, so for our topic today, you always have to let others know your opinion and persuade your point of view to the others. So you may use modal verbs. But after the modal verbs, you have to always remember we follow bare infinitives, which means that the verbs after modal verbs does not change. Nothing happened to this one. No ing, no ed, no s. Okay, so use should, must, may, can, might. Okay, use these kind of modal verbs. And then we're talking about 2 different types of sentences. The first one is rhetorical questions. What is rhetorical questions? So if you read this sentence, you will find that this is a question firstly, right? Yet, who is to blame for? So yet, it means but. But as you are in Form 6, but looks more like primary school students, so you may use yet to mean contrast, okay, to mean but. Who is to blame for? It's a question, but you already know the answer, okay? It's a question, but you already know the answer. We call it rhetorical questions, but this one is very difficult to use or to use it well in your writing. So please think twice before you use it. Okay, but if you think it's a really good way to state your opinion, then this one is really a strong evidence, strong, give strong persuasive feelings to the reader. Okay, and then the other one we taught the next one in our class before. Okay, if you want to emphasize some point of view or some ideas, we can use this kind of structure. Firstly, clearly is an adverb. We use it to state our opinion, and you may also use other adverbs like obviously, clearly, okay, to directly state your opinion or idea, okay? And also the other one, it is time that, we mentioned this one in our Form 5 time, okay? So it is time, it is very important now, it is the most important part, that, Hong Kong. So after that, we use a clause, okay? Okay, so these two, please always use these two in your writing, okay? Especially in your formal writing, okay? Especially in your formal writing. And then the other one, cause and effect, is when we talk about social issues or especially social issues, cause and effect is always very important, and you have to be very logical when you are writing. So we use some typical sentence pattern to express the cause and effect. So let's look at the first one. These parents dote on their children. Dote means love too much. Dote on those children so much that they do everything for them. So in Chinese would mean too many, right? So much that after that you state the consequence, okay? So after that you state the consequence. For example, she's too beautiful, she's so beautiful that I dare not chase her. Okay, she's so good, she's too good to be true, right? Yes, okay. And then next one. Okay, next one, as. We always use as in the very beginning of a sentence. To state the reason, and also we can use different connectors, since and because, okay, since and because. And after the clause, you have to put in comma, okay, and then tend to, try to, okay, try to, yes, try to, okay. So since is a very easy one to use when you are doing your writing, okay. And the next one, leads to. It means okay, so what I want you to pay attention to is after leads to, we always use a noun, okay, we always use a noun. Leads to environmental, it leads to pollution, leads to traffic accident, okay, all these things, all these phrases is called noun phrases, okay. So remember, after lead to, we use noun, okay. And then the most difficult two I want to mention. So if you look at the sentence, it's a very, very long sentence, and this is only one sentence. A study conducted by the Society for Children Development indicate that over half of the parents interviewed have experienced anxiety over their children's schoolwork, and 70% of them are willing to offer any kind of assistance to ensure their children's academic success. Okay, so this one is very long, and I will chunk it up into parts. So let's look at the first part. A study conducted by the Society for Child Development. So these words is past participle phrases, which is not the most important part in the sentence. These phrases describe the study, okay, 研究. So these phrases describe study. So what does this study do? This study indicate 顯示, 展示, okay? So this is the verb of this sentence. A study indicate what? That over half of the parent, half of, it means 50%. Over half, okay? Over half of the parent have experienced. What kind of parents? Interviewed. 受訪問的, okay? Passive voice. 被受訪問的 have experienced anxiety. What kind of anxiety? What is the anxiety for over their children's academic result? Okay, so actually this sentence is very short. A study indicate that parents have experienced anxiety. Okay, so this is the first part, and then let's look at the second part. And 70% of them are willing to. Okay, always remember to use figures to persuade your readers. Okay, 用數據去說服人啊 and also use studies. Okay, are willing to, 願意 are willing to offer any kind of to ensure. So to show the purpose, okay, after to is the purpose. Okay? So remember, use figures, use numbers like 50%, 75%, and also always give evidence by some official department. Okay? So let's go to next one. Vicky Tuck. So someone famous, someone important. Who is she? The principal of Cheltenham Ladies College warns parents that their over-conscientiousness and constant supervision may prevent their A very long sentence. So we will chunk it up again. Okay. Firstly, the subject is Vicky Tuck. So who is Vicky? We use still a noun phrase. The principal of Cheltenham Ladies College to explain who this lady is. And then the verb is warns. Okay, warns. 警告. So warns whom? The parent. About what? That their supervision. What kind of supervision? Okay, sorry, this one is wrong. Okay, the highlight here is wrong actually. Okay, but anyway, this one and this one should be the subject in the clause. Okay, so these two things will prevent 阻滯, okay, their children from, prevent from what? Growing. Okay, remember after the preposition, the verb should plus ing, and then the two adjectives is not that important. Okay, so actually this sentence is also very easy. What I want to say here is that you need to give code from some important people like the principal or maybe the chief, I don't know, chief executive officer or whatever you think that is important, or maybe the professor or environmentalist, okay, I don't know, but when you are writing, remember to cite from people, okay? 去引用人哋啲説話 okay? So here are basically 5 important patterns that you can use. The first one is modal verbs, which is very easy. I believe everyone can use it, right? And then the rhetorical questions. Yet, who is to blame? Okay, 所以我哋可以去怪邊個啦 okay? Use rhetorical questions. And then emphatic structures. For example, clearly, obviously, and it is time that, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and always use causative fact as, since, because, so, blah, 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 that, okay, and leads to. And then the last one, use figures, use famous people, okay? 用啲數據同埋好出名嘅人啊 Okay, so this is for today. Okay, we're overrun for 7 minutes. Okay, so remember to go back home and jot down your notes and upload your notes in your Google Classroom. And also, please hand in your writing. I can't remember, maybe Thursday or Friday, I can't remember, but according to your Google Classroom, okay? So, do your writing. And this one is very important. You have to learn how to write two-sided argumentative essay, okay? See you on Friday, the Zoom lesson, okay? Bye-bye.